Hello, our guest today is Shiraz Baboo, the creator of Energetic Magic, a transformational approach that helps people break free from what he calls reality addiction, those limiting patterns that keep life harder than it needs to be. Shiraz empowers entrepreneurs and change makers to access the magic within, unlock untapped potential, and create success and freedom with ease. I love that. Through his work, he helps clients shift their energy so that the right opportunities, people, and results start flowing effortlessly. Shiraz, welcome to Leading with Purpose.
Thank you so much, Mark. Great to be here.
It's funny that as I was reading that introduction, I was thinking about my bike ride this morning. I was thinking about how success is when preparation meets opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how to prepare, but how do you create opportunities? And I think that's really the root of some of what your magic is.
Yes, and opportunities are actually always there. Part of what happens is because you're stuck in your stories, you see through the filter of those stories, and opportunities that are there, you don't acknowledge, you don't believe that they're there, and sometimes you don't even see them. Like you physically can look at an opportunity and not see that that's an opportunity. And one really simple example was I was on a flight. It was a fully booked flight, except for my row. So I had 2 seats free next to me, right? And I'm looking, everyone's cramped in, and people were turning and looking to see, because they seemed to notice that I had this whole row to myself. And after we took off, any one of them could come up and take that window seat because I like the aisle. And they would turn and they'd look, and I think they were looking to see, is anyone else going to take it? Should I take it? And they all kept themselves trapped, right? And the opportunity was right in front of them. And I enjoyed the seat. I put both trays down so I could have food on one, watch a video. I was just having it felt like business class.
I love it. That's such a beautiful, simple example of how opportunities are around us all the time. And whether or not we see them or whether or not we take advantage of them is often up to us.
Mm-hmm.
So what inspired you to create Energetic Magic, and how did your own journey lead to this work?
I wasn't actually inspired to create Energetic Magic, which it was actually me losing a bet. So I used to have rheumatoid arthritis, and learning some techniques, I got rid of the arthritis overnight. It's a whole story around that. And then once I learned that this was possible, I looked into it, I studied different modalities, checked things out, tried practicing on other people. I said, this isn't about illness. This is about wealth. This is about relationships. This is about your entire reality. You can change things, and sometimes overnight. And I was practicing these techniques on my family and friends. And then finally, one of my friends says, people will pay you for this. And I said, no, this is just a hobby. There's something exploring this. And she goes, no, people will pay you for this. There's a whole world out there where they charge for this kind of thing. I didn't know that. I wasn't in that world. So I made a bet, and I said, okay, let's make a bet. I'm going to charge $100 an hour for what I do. I bet you people will not pay that much. And then people started paying me $100 an hour. And I went, oh my God, this is a business. Right. So, and as I kept working with people, I just sort of fell in love with the transformations. So for me, it wasn't this big epiphany that I need to do this. It was this, I lost a bet. And then all of a sudden it's like, this is actually pretty cool. I love doing this. I love seeing the transformations. I love seeing the people getting happier, making more money, getting healthier. And as I went through it, I started to realize what I really love most is working with entrepreneurs, especially coaches, because I found out that coaches and healers make on average less than $30,000 a year, which is not enough to live on. And they're trying to change people's lives. They're trying to have this huge impact in the world. And I'm like, hey, we have to do something about this. So I created my business around getting coaches to a consistent 6-figure salary in their business by taking out all the blocks that say they can't, or they shouldn't, or that's, just impossible to do.
Well, that's why you've become known as the reality interventionist.
Mm-hmm.
You help people with reality addiction.
Yeah.
How does it become an addiction? how does reality become an addiction?
So reality becomes an addiction because, let's say, you believe it's unfair for some people to have all the money and lives of ease while other people struggle. Right? On the surface, that seems completely unfair. So then what happens is, in the back of your mind, if I make a lot of money, then I'm one of the people that's unfair, and I'll feel guilty for that. So in order to avoid feeling that guilt, you stay at your current income. On top of that, you look for situations where these people are having a wonderful, easy life at the cost of other people. And these stories come up in the news fairly regularly. Every time you watch that news clip, you get a hit of dopamine because you're right. See, there it is again. See, I'm right again. Look at that other rich, crappy person doing this. And so now you create a dopamine addiction to being right, that it's unfair for the rich to have so much while the poor suffer. Right? Now, the whole thing is, in this story, you are making yourself poor. All right? So you're creating your own suffering by staying in that story. And for most of the world, this is what's happening. And again, it's not a conscious thing. No one's consciously saying, I want to be poor. However, they have all these things. Well, if I have rich, everyone's going to ask me for money, and I don't want that, so I'll stay poor. If I'm rich, I'm going to pay the government all this taxes. I hate the government. I don't want to pay them, so I'll stay poor. If I get rich, I'll be guilty. I feel guilty. I don't want to feel guilty, so I'll stay poor. And that's how people are creating this reality of rich versus poor.
Mm-hmm.
Except on the surface, it looks like it, and it is totally unfair. So many people are hoarding all the wealth. However, the people at the bottom just need to learn to change their mindset, to see opportunities, to do things they haven't been doing, to raise themselves up. And this is happening, but it's happening in small incremental changes because the people at the bottom now are still way better off than the people at the bottom 100 years ago. It's creeping, but not fast enough, right?
Well, yeah, I can see how all of those different blocks, like I literally, when I was in sales, remember people saying, well, if you make more than this in sales, then you're going to be in a different tax bracket. Mm-hmm. That's where they would stop. That was the number, you know. But I know that the opposite also is true, that a lot of people believe, well, the only way for me to get rich is to hustle, to work hard. And I've seen people do that and burn out. And so I'd rather just enjoy life and just get by.
Yeah.
But how do you help clients grow their businesses? Because you said you really focus on people that are making mission-driven, driven businesses. So how do you make them make a bigger impact, but also making life easier and more fun? Because I know that that's one of your values, is ease and fun.
So one of the things is get them out of the mindset that it can't be easy and fun. And then we actually have practical ways to do that, ways to scale your business. I'm a big advocate for group over private. Right? If you've got a group program, the group program hours are specific hours, then you can throw 10,000 people in that group program and you're still working the same amount of hours. Right? That's a scalable business. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people, and starting out, it's almost necessary to work one-on-one so you get the hang of it, you build the confidence. As quickly as possible, though, you need to switch to group and create something to put automation in, so you're not having to manage it. And as you make more money, bring in assistants. And so that makes it scalable. So the bigger your business gets, the fewer hours you work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And a lot of people don't get that. And it is because you grow up with, you got to work hard to succeed. You got to hustle if you want to make sales. And I used to have those beliefs. I shifted my beliefs, and now people approach me. How do I work with you? Can you come and talk at my event and I will pay you? That just happened yesterday. Someone said, I will pay you to come talk at my event. I'm like, I live in a world where we pay to speak at events because of sponsorships. And this is a sponsorship event, except I'm getting paid while everyone else is paying sponsorships. Like, that's how my reality is swapped. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, and I see that. I know, some of the high-end coaches that you work with, that you're a part of their team, that they bring you in because they know that all the strategy in the world that they create isn't going to work without that mindset piece of it. So that's a really helpful thing that you even bring in some of those people to help your clients in business.
Yeah. And I think anyone can relate to this. Have you ever been given tools that you just never got around to using? You got too busy or forgot about? That's all your internal resistance saying, nope, that'll get you success. Don't use these tools.
Right. Yeah. Or I'm not good enough for these tools. All of these other layers of beliefs. And I think that's one of the things that I've discovered, because I know with some of our clients that are working with you, is that there's this one limiting belief, and they're like, oh, once they get through this, everything will change, and they get through that, and then they find the underlying belief, and that's something that you're really good at, is being able to drill at the belief underneath the belief.
And it's amazing. It can go down several levels. One of the ones that happened recently that just blew me away is I've been working with a lot of people on worthiness. And a lot of people have this belief that they're not worthy. I found out that there's a percentage of them that created that belief because they didn't want to be worthy, because they felt now everyone's going to look up to me. Now there's all this responsibility. So they covered up knowing they're worthy, but thinking it's going to be a burden by thinking they're unworthy. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I can think of examples of that. Yes, that's amazing. Again, how our subconscious does that. They're not like thinking this. It's just the subconscious trying to protect us.
Yes.
So what are some of the common signs that someone is sitting on untapped success potential? And what are the first steps that they can take access to it? Like we were talking before, at the very beginning, I was saying that success is when preparation meets opportunity. And you're saying that a lot of times the opportunity is right there. We just don't know how to do it. It's the same thing with internally, when there's untapped success potential.
If you are stuck at a certain level, you are addicted to being at that level. It's that simple.
That's a great.
And so any consistent problem I have in my life, I look at it and say, okay, that's something that at an unconscious level, I want to be happening. So why do I want that? What is the advantage there? It's either I'm getting an immediate benefit off it, or I'm avoiding some perceived future horrible outcome. Right. So, yeah. And like one of the examples, if you're worried people are going to come up and say, Mark, can I have some money? Can you invest in my company? Can you give to my charity? Can you just take care of me? Because I know you can afford it. If you're like, I don't want people doing that, then you're going to say, well, I'm just not going to make the money. And consciously, you're like, why am I not making the money? Once you start changing the question, so it's like, why don't I want to make the money? What's the advantage to staying right here? Then things start to bubble up from your subconscious, like, oh, I don't have to be responsible. Or, oh, I don't have to pay all those taxes.
That was what was in my mind, actually, was taxes. And I was thinking, I want to do a call with you probably in February or March, because in the United States, tax day is April 15th, which is our children's birthday. Our twins. And Renee is a tax geek. She loves doing taxes. She loves numbers. And but for most people, they come up with this fear. And for a lot of people, they hate paying taxes. They hate what the government spends taxes on. So there's all these things around paying taxes. And I can see how just that part of it, whether you're consciously saying, I'm going to limit myself because of it, or even bills. They don't like paying their bills. They're running a business, as you know, there's a lot of expenses. And so what can we as entrepreneurs do to shift how we look at our expenses, or especially something like taxes that isn't necessarily helping build our business?
Number one with the bills is you shouldn't be complaining about paying bills, because you've received something for those bills. So when you're paying, you should be grateful. Thank you for giving me the service. The more you're thankful in the payment of the bills, the less stress it is on you, and the more you're seeing how much you're gaining from all those bills, right? And that's not to say, let's go make lots and lots of bills. It's just getting you out of the frustration of paying bills. So
we get a water bill, we're like, thank God water comes to my house and I don't have to walk 3 miles to go get water.
Absolutely. I mean, when I pay my internet bill every month, that's my business, right?
We're here because of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that also puts me in a frame of mind, because of where I am successfully. It's, I could get the internet that's level 2 tier, but it's like, no, this is my business. I want everything. I mean, we're going up here. We're paying that bill and being grateful that that option is available to pay, because it's going to help out my business.
Well, let's go back to taxes. I love that I can call the police, and I love that I can call the fire company. I love that my kids get to go to school. There are a lot of things that we spend money on that I don't like. I love taking care of people who don't have money. I'm okay with all of that. But for people who, for whatever thing that they don't like, because there's something the government spends money on that everybody doesn't like.
Yep.
How do we deal with taxes that isn't helping? We can say, oh yeah, well, at least we have fire, but all these other things that we don't really want to be spending money on.
So at that point, you're in this place of control. I'm only willing to pay this if I know it's going to be done for what I want done. And each person wants different priorities from the government. So there's no way that it's going to be set up so that it's just what you want. So knowing that your money is going to some of the things you want and some of it is not, but you're still helping people, that's going to help you with the taxes. If you're resenting paying taxes, this is the important thing, and this is because we have to appeal to each person's individual ego. The more you resent paying taxes, the less money you will try to make. So just look at it from that point of view. Like, okay, all right, now I hate it. I don't want it to go there, but okay, would you rather make a lot more money so the fraction of what you're making more of it goes to those people, because you're paying more and more, so they get more and more help, and you have more money to spend, and you have a better lifestyle, and you could actually create a charity for those specific people you care about and then start giving them money directly that way. That all comes from making lots of money. But if your focus is, I don't want to give the government this money, well, then you're not going to make a lot of money. Sorry, it's just not going to work.
Yep. And again, you said something earlier about especially the bills and everything around gratitude. And I feel like that is one of the most powerful tools for attracting more of what we want.
Yes. And the more you are grateful, the more things that show up for you to be grateful for. I was just laughing because yesterday I went to go to the grocery store just to get like milk and eggs and bread. And you know how you go for those three things and you end up with like $100 worth of groceries. So
that's why my wife doesn't let me go.
Okay. So I went and I got it, and my shopping cart is filling up. And then when the woman is checking me out, we have these things, scene points. Therefore our movie theaters, like you collect it and you get more and more points, and you can use it for other things. Like I could redeem it for groceries, but I love watching movies. So I collect the points and go to movies for free. And she's checking things out. She's watching everything I bought had scene points for it. So it's racking up. And she's looking, give me your scene card. Like, she didn't even ask, do you have one? She's like, there's no way you bought these things. Right? And almost every one of them was also on sale. Right? So everything I wanted happened to be on sale when I went to the grocery store. And every time I'm picking it up, like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, it's just gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
And then on top of it, you get rewarded.
And I got rewarded. And one of my friends, actually, I was on the phone with her when I was out running some errands one day. And she said, this is freaking me out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't know what it was. We were having a different conversation. And then she just said that. And she said, I keep hearing you say thank you. And I said, yeah, because things keep happening. I said, but it's so weird because it's like, people are opening doors for you and you're getting the left turn lane with no oncoming traffic. And I could hear you saying thank you for that. And I'm verbally saying thank you every time this happens. And she's like, and it's just going and it's going and it's going. And I've never heard this before. It's freaking me out. I'm like, that's where I live.
Well, let's talk about that actually real quick. Because you said you say it out loud.
Yeah.
And there's an energy of thought.
Yeah.
And then there's an energy of words.
Yes. And words are 10 to 100 times more powerful than your thoughts. Actions are 10 to 100 times more powerful than your words. So I'm not just going to think it, I'm going to say it. I thank my car every time I get home for taking me places. My car is 19 years old and it runs beautifully.
You actually set up your business the same way. You know, the work that we do together is a lot around affiliates and partnerships and collaborators, and you have very collaborative models in all that you do. And even the way that you pay is a system where it's automated, it's fast, it's consistent. And that's when you say, you know, it's one thing to that you're thankful and you're grateful for all of us. And it's nice to be able to send an email or to say it with your words, but that action where money transfers from your account to our account, that's very, very powerful. And that's why your JV partnerships work so well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, my gratitude is like lifetime. I look at, if I have a client that you referred to me, then I would not have that client without you. So if that client continues to purchase services from me, I will continue to pay you for as long as I have that client, because I wouldn't have had them otherwise. So that's me expressing my gratitude. And my partners just love it, because they may get something for an event and then someone will purchase something 3 years later and suddenly, oh, Shiraz just gave me money.
Well, now I'll remember too that when I get those PayPal notices, I'll start sending a thank you reply to each one of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Out of gratitude, where it's taking action. Because I think every time I'm like, oh, thank you, Shiraz. That's what I say. But yeah, I want to take some action as well. So for anybody that's listening today who wants lasting transformation, what's one energetic shift that they could make right now to start attracting better opportunities?
So the big one for me is, getting out of where you are. So what's the advantage to being here that I'm not seeing it, and looking for those advantages. The other thing is looking for opportunities to have an impact on someone. Right. And this is the difference. I don't help people. I have an impact on them. And the difference there is that there are some people that keep coming and asking for help. And when you give them the help, they just keep coming back and asking for help. But all you're doing is perpetuating them. When you have an impact in someone, something shifts. There's a different behavior. There's a different outcome. And so that's what I look for in life, is how can I have an impact on people, not how can I help people.
Mm-hmm.
That's changing lives.
Beautiful. Yeah, because you were talking about shifting before, and even just the mindset piece of it. Just now you were saying that there's the why you believe. It's kind of around the limiting beliefs, like why you have that belief. I think you're saying, what is the benefit? And it's subconscious. You kind of skipped over that part and then went into the second part. Go back into that a little bit more, because that's a key piece of what you're doing.
What is the benefit of being stuck there?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's an immediate benefit, but you don't perceive it. So let's say you are struggling. However, you got your friends and family have your back, and they say, Mark, we see you working hard. We got your back. We're here for you. We're so proud of you. That's all going to feel like love. Right? Now, your mind may say, oh my God, if I start succeeding, they're not going to say that anymore. I'm going to lose all that love. I've got to keep struggling. Right? So consciously, you're trying to get out of this place of struggle. Unconsciously, nope, not giving up the love, not giving up the love. Right? And so you have to really convince yourself that there's going to be that same amount of love in a different form, or more love, when you shift, so that your subconscious says, okay, it's okay to let go of that, because we're moving to this. Your mind, though, sticks with what works, what it knows, what's familiar. It doesn't want to leave that current addiction. So to get out of one addiction, one of the most effective ways is to decide on the new addiction. So I'm not going to get love from my struggles. I'm going to get that love from my successes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm going to hang out with people that are supportive. So I'm going to celebrate their successes. They're going to celebrate my successes. So I'll still get that love. And that will cause your unconscious mind to go, okay, well, we'll let that go. If we're going to get it, as long as we get our hit, we need that. Because with it, love, it's not just a dopamine hit like it is for most things where you get the dopamine hit for being right. With love, there's also oxytocin, serotonin. Like there's a bunch of feel-good chemicals that hit you. So your body definitely doesn't want to give that up.
Mm-hmm. So I love that idea of shifting to something more powerful than the benefit of what is keeping you in the limiting belief. And my whole mission is elevating human consciousness to love and above. On the Hawkins scale from 1 to 1,000, love's at 500.
Yes.
Courage is at 200.
Yes.
Most of us are under 200. Most of the planet is under that. And it takes courage to create transformation.
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a place of victimhood, the life is happening to me. How do you shift from that into courage?
One thing to remember is you're creating everything. And if you're creating really, really bad results, sort of acknowledge, look how powerful I am that I created this bad result. Right? This is it. You're creating everything. So when you get that you're creating everything, you can change anything. If it's someone else's fault, you can't change it. Right? And that's what the first step is, to acknowledge, well, I created this bad situation. And oftentimes when you start having that, why did I do it? What was the benefit of it? You'll get there. Your mind will go, oh, I did it for this reason. Yeah, and even just, I did it so I can blame other people. Right? So these things will start popping up, and then you'll start to realize, so wait, I'm creating everything. I am creating every bad and every good moment in my life. That means I can just stop creating the bad and start creating more and more good moments. Now, it is building a muscle to do this. And for me, things weren't always that great. And then people were talking about using affirmations. One thing about affirmations is your mind will not accept a lie. Right? I've even heard coaches say, if you say something enough times, if you say a lie enough times, you'll believe it. No. If you keep saying, like, I'm a millionaire, and your whole world is like, no, that's not going to change anything. However, when you start to acknowledge partial truths, things can start changing, and you can start changing the way you think. So I was saying, things work out for me. And for me, the context is things work out well for me. All right. The reality is some things work out for me and some things don't, but things do work out for me, those things that work out. So it was a truth, even though I was leaning it towards better things. And my unconscious mind could accept that. So I kept saying, things work out for me, things work out for me. And what happened is my reticular activating system started focusing on the things that work out for me, which caused me to create more things that work out for me. And so then I started noticing this, like, wow, things really work out for me. And then that started happening, and even more things work out. And then finally it was, wow, everything works out for me. And now through my life, even if things go wrong, they correct themselves. And I actually have that conversation, like, wow, that was horribly wrong. I wonder how it's going to correct itself, because everything works out for me. And it does every single time.
That's reality intervention in your own life. And that's, again, one of the things I love. That's why we're here on Leading with Purpose, is that everything that you're teaching is really your own experiences, and you're shortening the journey for the rest of us, and helping to see blind spots. That's the whole idea of a blind spot, is that you can't see your own blind spot. Mm-hmm. And some people may have even seen you doing some of the cough. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I feel something clearer. I know what's going on. But I'm just curious, because again, we are here on Leading with Purpose. Mm-hmm. What does that phrase mean to you? What does leading with purpose mean to you?
Leading with purpose is not just leading for leading's sake. It's not leading to be a leader, because some people just want to feel like they're a leader and be seen as a leader. It's setting this clear intention of, this is the change I'm going to make. This is the impact I want in the world. And that's far more important than just being a leader. Right? A true leader is focused on getting to a goal and uplifting the people around them so that they're in with that goal as well. I remember, I can't remember what the name of the guy that was the president of Pepsi was, but Steve Jobs went to him, and they said the conversation was pretty much, do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to change the world? And he just took the guy and made him a VP at Apple. But that was it, leading with purpose.
That's such a great example. Again, that it's about not just being in charge of people. That's very ego driven, but it's about what is the change that you want to make in the world. And for Steve Jobs, he wanted to advance technology.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, again, Shiraz, I'm so grateful for the work that you do out of the world, and thank you for this time with us. Any last word that you want to share and leave our listeners with?
Don't be afraid to be the happiest person in the room. Right? The happiest person sets the level that everyone else can come up to. And many people now treat happiness like a disease. Like, if you're overly happy, it's like, what's wrong with you? What drugs are you on? But I find that being the happiest person, people will look at me funny, will roll their eyes, but at the same time, they'll start to edge up and start to have more fun, and the whole experience gets better.
I love it because you cut right to the end chase. And that's why people are chasing money, our health, relationships. It's all to the end goal is happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just saying, why not get to right to the end and be the happiest person?
And this is the thing, happiness attracts money and success. Mm-hmm. And most people sit there and go, I'll be happy when, except now you're saying, I'm not going to use the thing that's required for me to get the thing I want. So good luck.
It does create a conundrum.
Yeah. So be happy now.
Be happy now. That's a beautiful way to end this message today. Again, Shiraz, thank you. Thank you for listening here today. Please post your comments down below and we'll definitely respond. Thank you so much, Shiraz. Thank you for shining your light out into the world.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Leading with Purpose. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to lead with purpose and make a meaningful impact. If you're ready to discover where you stand on your leadership journey, I invite you to take the Soulful Leadership Assessment. It's a powerful tool to help you align with your leadership style and your true purpose.